Thanks for tuning in to more thoroughbred horse racing coverage on the playbooksports.com horse report. And that means that we're going to welcome in Jon Hardoon from the Sheets. How you doing, John?
Good morning, guys. How are you?
Doing good. And Mark Lawrence from Playbook Sports. How's it going, Mark?
I'm doing just terrific, guys. I hope you're doing just as well and looking forward to a nice weekend of horse racing.
Absolutely. And we have a couple actually, we have one stakes race that we're going to handicap in a few minutes. That's going to be over at Del Rey, the Grade 2 Eddie Reed.
Del Mar.
What was that, John?
Del Mar, not Del Rey.
Oh, at Del Mar? Okay. See, it's the first time I've said thanks for that. The first time we've really talked about Del Mar this year. I've got Del Rey Beach in my mind from just talking to Mark. And then, unfortunately, we are going to talk about a race at Saratoga, but we're not going to talk about a graded stakes race because one of the Grade 1 American Oaks, I think it is, has 4 horses in it.
4 horses in a 1-9 shot, an undefeated filly named Malaf.
4 horses and a 1-9 shot.
Malfat.
That's pretty bad. Before we talk about this week, though, Mark, you had a winner last week, and that was the Diana Stakes, correct?
That's correct, yes.
Your horse, Althequa, came in. What did Althequa pay, Mark?
It was eight and change, I believe.
Not bad.
Either 8 and change or 9 and change.
That's not bad. And so that worked out for us. But the Haskell was the crazy one. And we're going to go ahead and show video of the Haskell. This didn't have anything to do with whips, though. So they have enough problems.
Whoa. It had everything to do with
whips. Okay. See, you're going to teach me a lesson here. So explain to me exactly what transpired here. I'm going to get the replay right there. And we see Hot Rod Charlie basically moving in front of Midnight Bourbon. And then Midnight Bourbon steps on the heel of Hot Rod Charlie. Is that what happened, John?
Yeah, he ran up his behind because Flavian Pratt, who was on Hot Rod Charlie, didn't have his whip in his hand. And if he gets to hit him once left-handed, the horse straightens out and he wins. After the race, Pratt was quoted as saying, "It's impossible for a person to control a 1,200-pound animal with just his hand." Not only that, you're talking about a 100-pound person. You know, take nothing away from these jockeys because pound for pound, they're as strong as anyone else. But when you can't control a horse, when you don't have a steering wheel, you know, and basically that's what a whip is. Jersey Monmouth instituted the most stupid rule of all times. Actually, it was the New Jersey Racing Commission that did it. They allow no whips in a race. So, you know, a lot of times horses need encouragement, but these aren't even whips. They got it all wrong. What these horses are being hit with is a foam rubber end that makes a popping noise. Ramon Dominguez, an ex-jockey who retired a few years ago, invented this new whip. But what happened was all these people that want to be politically correct, they invited PETA to the table. And PETA wants to get rid of horse racing. So that's why all this happened. So when you say that it had nothing to do with the whip, it had everything to do with the whip, to be honest with you.
Okay. Well, I mean, and that's the thing, though. You're not going to hear the broadcasters talk about, though. They didn't mention that, did they?
The good ones did. The honest ones did.
Okay.
You know, the jockey, the owner, listen, they got screwed out of $600,000. It was $1 million purse. $1 million purse. If he hits him once, left-handed, the horse straightens out. Because around the turn, when they straighten out, every horse is going to naturally try to lug in and go towards the rail. You know, anyone that bets 5 cents at Monmouth has got to have their head examined. I mean, you know, these guys are riding without whips. Horses need encouragement. You're betting a horse that's coming from 20 lengths out of it just with a hand ride, it's not going to work.
John, somebody said to me, a good friend of mine, a horse racing friend, said this about the whip issue at Monmouth. And he says, why doesn't Monmouth at some point go in front of the racing gate, take a horse out, bring a whip out, and bring a human being out and hit the human being with the whip and watch how the human being doesn't even flinch.
Right.
To get their message across.
Right. They do a terrible job of getting the message out and telling the truth.
Well, why don't we do that? Why don't you get a whip,
Well,
John?
1,000 people that are listening to this, they'll get it. What about the millions that
Well,
aren't?
if you do a good demonstration on YouTube, it could actually, you never know.
I'm sure if you go to Ramon Dominguez's website or whatever he has, I'm sure it's on Facebook or wherever it is. I'm sure you'll see it. Listen, they made a rule without even bringing jockeys to the table. At least Churchill has a new rule. California has a new rule with how many times you can whip the horse. At least they asked some experts. Churchill brought jockeys to the table and they made some sort of compromise. Monmouth, the New Jersey Racing Commission, went and made their own rules without even talking to anyone about it.
Does Hot Rod Charlie get disqualified if Midnight Bourbon doesn't fall?
Yes.
So would have
no. He would have never gone down. He went down because he crossed over in front of him, which caused him to clip heels. He clipped heels and went down. If he has a whip and stays straight.
What I'm saying is he doesn't have a whip. So if he clips him and the horse stumbles but stays on his feet, would they have still disqualified him?
He doesn't come down because of one reason. I don't think it affected the outcome. Hot Rod Charlie was going to win anyway. Midnight Bourbon was done at that point. It's not like Midnight Bourbon was moving up on them. I think Midnight Bourbon was done. But again, that's just a judgmental call. I would have voted for him to stay if I was a steward.
Okay.
So if Hot Rod Charlie closed the lane out on Midnight Bourbon, should that not be enough to disqualify the horse?
Midnight Bourbon wasn't going anywhere. I don't think he was going anywhere. And there was like 2 miles back to the fourth horse. If you remember, those 3 horses just laid over the field on the numbers and the figures, and they were going to run 1, 2, 3 by a mile. And that's what was happening. So by him going down, it cost him a position because the horses behind him passed him. So instead of getting third money, he got no money.
So basically, because he went down, Charlie was disqualified.
Right. That's what I'm saying. That's the way I look at it.
Okay, so what does this do to the Breeders' Cup? Because we know Mandaloon. So will Hot Rod Charlie be there as well?
He'll be there if he chooses to go. But the other way, by winning that race, I think it was a win and you're in.
Yeah.
Not that it matters. He's in anyway. But look at Mandaloon. Look at the career he's had. He's about to get put up in the Kentucky Derby because if Baffert's horse gets disqualified, he got put up. He got put up in the Haskell, so he got put up in 2 of the biggest 3-year-old races of the year without winning one of them. Interesting. That's horse racing.
Who owns that horse?
Mandaloon?
Yeah. Juddmonte?
Juddmonte Farms, trained by Brad Cox, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, well.
Hey, guys, let me ask you this question real quick before you move on. Kentucky Derby, maximum security disqualified. Do we remember the name of the horse that was even put up?
I do. It was Summer something. I don't remember. It was Summer. Some big ball long shot. Pratt was on him, actually. Pratt got put up.
All right. Let's get started. We're going to get this Saratoga. Now, again, because I think there are 2 stakes races at Saratoga, but neither of them worked out for us. And again, we're definitely not doing a 4-horse, even if it's a grade 1 with a 1-9 shot in it. But we decided to go with race 11 at Saratoga. This is a $900,000 allowance race with 3-year-olds and up a 1.16 turf race. And I'm not going to post any sheets on this one. I've got the sheets that I'll post up here for the Eddie Reed in a few minutes. But as far as this one is concerned, the 1-horse, John, Kara's Dreamer. Now, first of all, talk a little bit about anybody who, because I get confused. I don't look at this enough. Is when you're looking at the sheets and the order of the horses, and then you look at the form, and you have this 1-1A, and it's completely different. How does this all work? Like, why is Kara's Dreamer and Chasing Kara, why are they up at the 1 spot, 1 and 1A together?
Because in New York, if the owner owns both horses in a race, they run as an entry. And that's what you have here. So in this case, Richard Greeley owns both Kara's Dream and Chasing Kara. So they run as a coupled entry. Okay. So if you bet the 1 and the 1A wins, you're collecting.
So then
what it means.
What that means is no matter where your post position is, you're automatically going to wind up on the rail?
No, your saddle cloth is just going to be number 1, and your saddle cloth is going to be number 1A. Technically, Kara's Dream is breaking from the 7 post, and Chasing Care is breaking from the 13 post.
So you're looking at this. This isn't right.
Right.
Okay.
Well, and one other thing you should realize, Chasing Cara happens to be on the also eligible list, so she's going to need a horse to scratch in order for her to get in. They only run 12 in that field.
Got it. All right. So Cara's Dreamer, the one we're going to talk about at 12-1, is not a bad play here. If you take a look at this horse over the last three, she's done really well, 19, 16 to 14. So she's going in the right direction, John. She's 7 of 12 overall lifetime in the money and 3 of 6 on turf in the money. That's not bad for a 12-1 shot with the sheet line going in the right direction. So I think we have to play the 1 in our exactas.
Well, the only question with the 1 is the distance. This is a mile and a 16th tomorrow. Her good races are usually shorter races. I don't know if she's as good going this far. So that's the question I have surrounding her. But certainly she's eligible.
Yeah, what we don't know is her form going to be her form no matter what the distance is, or is her form based on the fact that she's not racing the last 2 races at a mile and a 16th?
Well,
that's what we're going to find out.
Right. The form usually means the shape they're in at this point, going into the race. But again, the question I have with her is, does she want to go this far?
Sure.
She's bred by the Factor, who was a sprinter. So asking her to go a mile and a 16th may be a bit of an effort for her at this time. But listen, she's 12-1 and certainly has a chance with these.
Yeah, she's had 3 a mile and a 16th on turf, 21, 21, and 19. Again, her last 3 races, the 19 was at a mile and a 16th, the 16 was at a mile, and her last race was the 7 furlong race when she was at 14. So was she getting better because she was going, shorter distances, or was she getting better because she's just in really good form? So,
well, the 3-year-old who's eligible to improve with racing at this, the trainer doesn't win that often, and again, the breeding on the horse indicates that she's probably better off sprinting. But again, it's in a $90,000 allowance race. So that's a pretty good purse, and why not give it a shot?
The 2, Emma and I, is a 20-1 shot. Back-to-back 18s. Nothing here, John?
She looks slow to me.
The 3, Mapolka, is a 10-1 shot. This is a horse that you're going to play. She is coming off a poor effort last time, but before that, 13, 15, 13, 15.
Yeah, and she was claimed out of that race by Linda Rice, and I think that's an upgrade as far as trainers compared to the previous trainer she had. Linda Rice does very well. I like the 10-1, and I'm willing to excuse the bad race last time out. Her previous races are good enough, to get her in somewhere.
Mark?
The big thing we're seeing in these races here, guys, is this is a conditioned allowance race. Just not an open allowance race. There's state allowance races and there's conditioned allowance races. There's 3 horse wins. If you take a look at the wins, they've been in 40, 30, and 35 claimer races. This horse moved up to a 50 allowance state allowance bred race, ran 7th, 9 back. What we're seeing here in races like this, on the top, on the surface, you say allowance race, yes, but you see a lot of horses in here that have been running in claiming races, and we need to find a fit of a horse that feels comfortable in a race like this. I don't know if this horse does.
Okay, the 4, not worth talking about, right, John? The Valorand at 30-1?
Looks kind of slow to me. This horse has 1 win compared to other horses here that have multiple wins. I don't particularly like.
Yeah, the best race of her career, the only good thing was first time that she went on turf when she ran the 19, but that's just on a sheet line. Of course, she finished 9th in that race. All right.
Yeah, but you're going to need to run a 13 or better probably to win this race.
Yeah, and that's not going to happen for her. Electric Youth is a 10-1 shot. John Velasquez is on board. And this horse just can't seem to find some consistency. Now, the last race, though, was a 17, first time on turf. But when you look over the 5 races, 17, 20, 17, 21. So 17 tells me this horse is going back to a 20 or 21, unless we're going to see the horse going forward because she just likes to be on turf. We don't know that.
That's the $1,000,000 question, and I guess it would depend on the price. But even if she improved off the 17, and let's say she ran a 15, that's probably not going to be good enough.
Okay, the 6. Now, this is a horse we all like for obvious reasons when you take a look at the sheet line, so much so that, Mark, this is your top play, Saez-Pletcher combo. I think I'll be surprised if the horse goes off at 6-1 because of that. But you look at the sheet line, 26, 18, 14. So this is as good as any horse in the field, Mark, and you're going to take advantage of the 6-1 as your top play. And, yeah, I mean, this is a horse you have to play, don't you, Mark?
I believe so. You know, it would be a question if this horse was 5-2
Yeah.
on the morning line. Maybe be stepping back and looking at the price, but it's not. It's 6-1. This horse is lightly raced, only 3 races here, but got better in each race. Off the maiden win, the combination Pletcher and Saez, I think this is the horse to beat.
Why do you think this horse is not the favorite, John?
Because I think the 7 is a lot more consistent, and I think that a lot people don't like betting horses that just broke their maiden, and that's the case with the 6. You know, the horse has never done anything wrong. Don't get me wrong, and the price is right, but I don't believe you'll get 6-1. Maybe you'll get a shorter price, but again, she's never done anything wrong. It's Todd Pletcher. She's improving with each start. She would have to make another forward move, in my opinion, to beat the 7, who I think is more consistent.
So when they break their maiden, what is it? They just they party, they stay up late at night, and they don't.
That's the whole bounce theory. Usually, when you break your maiden, you're winning a race, which means that you probably ran the best race of your life, and you usually react off of it. In this case, this horse at least has, I think, 6 weeks or 5 weeks from that race, so she's not necessarily a bounce candidate. Not only that, when a horse has never gone backwards, which is her case, every race is better than the previous one. You know, you could keep playing those horses till they go back.
And again, the key is we want the horse to stay right around 5 or 6-1. We do not want to see those odds drop. So,
Greg, the other point about horses coming out of maiden wins, their next race, they're racing against other horses that have won races. They never did that before when they broke their maiden, so it is indeed a step up in class.
okay, the 7 is the 7-5 shot. Now, John, this is your top play, and you take a look at the sheet line over the last 4, and really almost the entire career. This horse has gotten better each time out, but the last 4, 18, 17, and then 12, 11. So it's better than any horse in the field. The only thing that I have a problem with is taking a 7-5 shot in this type of race with these horses. That's all.
Well, you say taking a 7-5 shot in this kind of race with these kind of horses. I mean, with the exception of the 6, who ran a 14 last time out, and maybe Mupaka, who has some old numbers to go back to. First of all, no one in this race has ever run an 11 before, with the exception of this horse.
Yeah, sure.
And she has time off since that race, and she's speed, and speed is a big plus on this inner turf course. You know, I just think she's going to be tough here.
Absolutely. I mean, she's the best horse in the field.
If I don't play this horse, well, then I can make a case for 3 or 4 horses, and it becomes difficult. So why not take the easy way out? Sometimes you have to take what they give you.
You know what it's like, Mark? It's like if your best bet of the week in college football is Rice. You know, it's like, hey, I really like him. There's a lot. I mean, if you look at it, the competition he's going up against, that's definitely the best team that week. But it's Rice.
Right? And if Rice doesn't win, you say to yourself, "What did I do? It was Rice."
Yeah, I put all that money on that team that just in that game that just wasn't very good. The competition wasn't very good, but
to John's case, this horse has been there and put up the best numbers, and has shown this horse can.
Best horse in the field.
Right. This horse is not Rice. Okay.
Best horse in the field. Yes.
We hope she's not Rice.
All right. The 8-1 shot, Choose Happiness. This is going to be my top play over the last 6 races, 26, 20, 18. Now that was on, actually all 3 of those were on a sloppy track, but that was not on turf. Then moved to turf, 16, 14. So those 5 races, 26, 20, 18, 16, 14, all going in the right direction. Backed up to a 17 last time out. I am a little bit worried about the fact that she backed out at Saratoga, where she's going to be again for the second time. But at least she goes to Irad Ortiz this time, and I'm getting 8-1, John.
And Ortiz has ridden her in the past, and Ortiz actually has won on her. The good news about this horse is that she was claimed by what we call a super trainer a few starts back. I think 5 races or 6 races back. And he knew what to do with her. He put her on the grass where she wants to be, and she's improved with each start, and she's fine. She's going to be a price. The rider switch back to Ortiz is only a plus. You know, she's okay.
So Orlando Noda.
Noda.
So Orlando Noda is a top trainer.
He's a top trainer that has nothing but question marks surrounding how he gets it done.
Okay, so, one of those guys. All right.
Yeah.
Hey, John, let me ask you this question. And we're talking about questions here. This horse has been in 10 races. They've all been claiming races. Yeah. Now he's moving up to an allowance race. How do you factor that in?
It doesn't make a difference in my opinion because I go by the numbers. I don't know any horse that knows how to read a racing form and
I got you.
Who he was running against. But
the 9 is a 15-1 shot. Unicorn Sally ran her best race a couple of starts ago, then bounced back to a 19. So we could see her going back in the right direction, but unfortunately, she'd have to take a big step back.
Yeah, I mean, you know, she's 15-1. I guess she has a shot to hit the board somewhere on the bottom. I don't think she's good enough to win. But she has 2 wins in this race. How many horses in this race have 2 wins?
That's true.
The 7, the 8, and the 9. Yeah. And Mapaka, I guess. But so she's in the top group of horses that have more than 1 win. And to me, that's a little important.
Mike's Girl is a 10-1 shot. Mark, you like this horse. Coming off a 13, her last time out. The only thing I would be concerned about with is a bounce situation.
That's my concern here too. Can this horse move forward, or will this horse come back? What I like about this horse here is he has Jose Ortiz up on the horse. He raced on him once before at Gulfstream, ran 4th, but he was only a length and a quarter back, coming in off of a win, a 16,000 claimer win in her last race. And this horse, she likes the distance here. She's been out 4 times to this distance. She has 2 wins, a 2nd and a 3rd. I think she makes the board here as well.
Yeah, I mean, there are some things to like about the horse, John. I mean, you got the 3 career 13s, and the last time she ran a 13, she followed that up with a 13. But again, the short amount of time, she doesn't have she had like 3 weeks since she ran that 13 before she ran the 18.
Yeah, and she ran those races out of town. Her last race was run at Delaware. The 2 previous races were run at Pimlico. Before that, she ran at Charlestown. When she was last seen on the New York circuit at Aqueduct, she ran 3rd, which was fine. You know, again, the horse certainly has a shot. I don't believe she'll be 10-1, to be honest with you. I think she's going to take money.
The 11 at 20-1. The last 3 races, she has gone from 23 to 18 to 17. What about Freedom Machine, John?
I think you have better options. I mean, now you're getting to outside posts, and it's hard to win from an outside post on the inner turf course. You know, she would really have to run something special, and there's nothing that indicates that she's going to do it, in my opinion.
And Jamaica Joy's a 12-1 shot, and this horse has run 3 times. It's the first time she's going to run on turf, and the first time she's going to go this far as the distance is concerned.
So you're betting a horse that, you know, that has 2 major question marks. First time on the grass and first time going a distance. The trainer's terrific. The horse does have some breeding, but she's certainly light on experience. This is only her 4th career start. I think you have better options. And the 13 horse is entered for main track only. That means the race has to come off the turf. That's not going to happen, so she's going to scratch.
All right, so again, the picks, John's top pick is going to be My Lips Are Sealed, a 7-5 shot. He also likes the 1, the 3, and the 6. Meanwhile, Mark is going to go, the 6 is his top play, just okay is not okay, a 6-1 shot, and also going with the 10 in his exacta. I am going to go with the 8, Choose Happiness, along with the 1 and the 6. Okay, let's move on to the big race of the show, and this is going to be Grade 2 Eddie Reed. This is a 1.125 miles on turf. It's going to go off about, well, this is a late start because we're on the West Coast, not at Delray Beach, but at Delmar Park. So let's start with the 1, Vintage Point. All right, so there's Vintage Point. A long shot at 20-1 that I actually think is a play. You agree with me here, John. You take a look at this horse. She's run an 11. She's run a 12 and a 9. So those are okay. But more importantly, the last 3 races, 14, 12, 9, she's going in the right direction. She's had a few starts after being passed off by Chad Brown. So yeah, we're not talking about a 10-1 or 5-1 shot. We're talking about a 20-1 shot that is heading in the right direction.
Yeah, and as a general rule, horses that shift from east to west on the turf seem to run better, because the turf course on the East Coast where this horse was running, well, she was actually running in Kentucky. When they ship west, they usually improve, and that being the case, you know, she's 20-1 and she's a point or two away. She's improving, no question about that. The only knock I have is that this was Chad Brown. People don't improve off of Chad Brown. P.H. Lobo, however, got a 9 out of the horse, something Chad Brown never has gotten. Last year, she only had 3 starts the entire year. The good news for this horse is he's now making his 3rd start in a short period of time. So obviously, he's had physical problems in the past. However, it appears that they found out whatever was wrong with him.
Mark?
Well, my question here was Chad Brown. Why would Chad Brown have given up on the horse, or was it a sale from a West Coast owner that wanted to bring this horse west? Is what the deal was? I don't quite get it.
The owner had the horses the whole time. Listen, Chad Brown has 300 horses, and like I was saying, he only had 3 horses last year, which indicates to me that he's a project. You know, he's got something wrong with him. When you have 300 horses, you don't have time for.
Fix people up, yes.
Send them to someone else, and that's what they did. They sent them to someone else, someone that has a few horses that's going to concentrate, do the work on the horse, like this guy apparently is doing. Like I said, he's making his 3rd start this year. He's only made 3 starts all of last year. So to me, that's somewhat of a positive, even though it's a negative train change.
Okay, let's go with the next horse, and this is United, one of the co-favorites in the race. But, you know, we always, not always, but we try to find issues with, if we can, with favorites. And I have some here. Now, if you take, first of all, she is, he is 6 years old, so getting up there in age. But here's the thing. I noticed, first time, this horse, whoever it is that owns the horse, likes to bring this horse back to race in the same race again. So, ran into Eddie Reed, the defending champ of the race. So this horse won this race last year. I bring that up because
he won it 2 years ago also.
Okay. So I bring that up because at the Breeders' Cup Turf race, let's see, right here, he ran 2nd place in 2019, came back at the Breeders' Cup Turf race and dismal, 8th. Charles Whittingham race, ran a 1st in 2020, came back in the race and didn't run well also there, ran a 4th. And also took 4 races to get back to the 6 again. And I say that because he ran a 6 in the Eddie Reed race in July of 2020. Then ran 9, 9, 12, and then a 6. This is only the 2nd race since the 6. So I could see there are some issues there where I would say I'm going to stay away from the 5-2 shot, John.
Well, I think this is a real good horse.
Sure.
I mean, he's earned over $1.5 million.
Yes.
So, you know, he's no slouch. What I don't like about him is the last race in 9. You know, he had a 6 before that, and he had plenty of time coming into the last race. He was beat at 30 cents to the dollar last time out. So he went off a huge favorite and disappointed. You know, can he win? Of course he could win. He could run a 6 or 7 tomorrow and win. But at 3-5, which he's going to be 3-5 again, I would try to beat this horse.
Yeah, that's taking a look, this horse has been a favorite just about every time she's been out there.
Yeah, I mean, again, she's a good horse.
Favorite, yes.
She's going to take a lot of money, as you said, John. She's a horse for the course, 4 for 4 at Del Mar, biggest money winner in the race. Loves the situation, but like you say, at that price, this horse is you want to be playing against and beating this horse.
Yeah, I mean, listen, last time I actually ran in a 4-horse field and finished 4th. The time before that, a 5-horse field, like most of the races are in California, all short fields. That's what she ran against. That's what she was beating up on. Now she gets another full field of, I don't know how many, 7 or 8, whatever it is. But again, she's going to be a short price. Can she win? She absolutely could win, but she's no value at 3 to 5, which she's going to be.
And who knows? Again, 2 of the last 3 races, she's a heavy favorite, or the last 2, she's a heavy favorite, but still, she's run 8th and 4th in 2 of the last 3 races. Okay, let's now move on to the 3 Say the Word, and this is going to be John's top play, a 3 to 1 shot. Mike Smith on board. The horse has run couple of 8s and a 7 recently. Matter of fact, this year alone, 10, 8, 7, and 10. So why is Say the Word your top choice, John?
Well, I'm willing to excuse the 10 last time out off the 2 efforts before that, the 7 and 8. And I was looking for some sort of value. I mean, I know Smooth Straight, the horse which Mark is going to like, is the horse to beat. She beat this horse last time out. But she beat this horse last time out when this horse ran at 10. The 7 and 8 that she has 2 and 3 starts back, which she's eligible to run tomorrow. If she runs one of those 2 races, I think she has a shot to turn the tables on Smooth Like Straight. And again, it's only a price play. Not that 3 to 1 is a price, but compared to the other short price horses in the race, like United and Smooth Like Straight, she's the 3rd choice, I would say. Listen, the truth of the matter is, if you're looking at figures, you can basically make a case for almost every horse in this race. They all run between a 6 and 9 somewhere, during their last 5 or 6 races. I just think that this horse has a shot. The 7 and 8 are the races that I'm playing her off of, those races 2 and 3 back, and I hope he runs it tomorrow.
Mark?
Well, John, the question is was that bounce expected from Say the Word in the last race? Was the race before 2 back a peak race, a peak number?
Well, it wasn't that big a peak number. It was only a point improvement off of the race before.
Okay.
The interesting thing is the last race was at a mile, and tomorrow's distance is a mile and an eighth. Her race is 2 and 3. His race is 2 and 3 starts back with both a mile and a half. So maybe it was the shorter distance that he didn't like. I mean, he was closing at a mile. You would think a mile and an eighth. Well, this has to be to his advantage. Not only that, I think there's enough speed in this race. I think there's horses that are going to run with Smooth Like Straight, which is going to set it up for a closer. And I think this is the best closer in the race.
Okay, the 4 is Count Again. And Count Again, just put up the sheets there, coming off 7 and an 8 over his last 2 races. Mark, you like this horse at 5 to 1.
I like the horse at 5 to 1. The horse has won here at Belmont before. Horse has done really nice on turf. 7 times in the money for 10 races. 6 graded stakes races in a row. 2 wins, 3 in the money. I think this horse is in the best form of its career. John, what do the numbers say on this horse? Am I correct about this horse possibly being in the best form of its career?
Well, he ran a 7 and 8 in his last 2 races. That's better than he's ever done before. And the good news about him is that he's slowly getting better. He's not making the big jump where he may react or bounce. This is another horse that fits. And like I just told you 5 minutes ago, you can make a case for a lot of horses in this race. The fact that this horse ran at Del Mar and won at Del Mar is another plus in his corner. So I can't knock this horse at all. And, anyone that wants to play him, all the power to you, because he certainly has a chance.
Okay, next up is the 5. This is going to be my top play, and this horse is Award Winner. And Award Winner, as you can see there, over the last 4 races this year, 13, 12, 11, 8. So I really like the way that line has gone there, John. Also, back-to-back wins. Won a grade 2 race, so that was the biggest win of this horse's career. So this horse could not be in better form right now. And I'm getting 8 to 1.
Well, the good news is that he ran the 8 last time out when he came off of Lasix for the first time, which he did. The only knock I have on the horse is that the 8 was the best race of his career. You take a horse like Count Again, who runs nothing but 8s, I would rather bet Count Again at 5 to 1 than Award Winner at 8 to 1 if I was choosing between those 2 horses.
Okay, next up is Smooth Like Straight, and this is the 6 horse at 9 to 5. So this is one of the other favorites of the race. And take a look here. Just what, 12 out of 15 lifetime, so that's really good. 3 out of 3 at this distance, which is nice. 3 out of 3 at Del Mar, which is nice. So you can understand why the horse is one of the favorites of the race. Has 7s, 8s, 7s recently. Coming off an 11 though last time out, but that was a win. What about this horse, John, which is actually Mark's top pick that we're going to get to Mark in a second?
The horse is fine. I mean, what I don't like doing is betting horses that ran slower numbers and won with them.
Why is that?
To me, because that's reverse buried. You lose all your value. It wasn't a good race, yet the horse won. So he's going to get he's going to get played because of that. People look at what a horse did last time out. They see Smooth Straight Beat say the word last time out, but he won the race by running a bad number. He ran an 11. That's the worst number he's run, since last year.
And is that because the rest of the field was bad as well?
Right. What showed up. So he gets credit and everyone sees, well, it's a win. But it was a win, but it's a win like with an asterisk next to it if you're looking at sheets, So a lot of times horses will run better numbers and not win. Like he ran the 7 and the 8, 2 and 3 starts back. He didn't win those races.
Yes.
Last time out, he became a good bet. Turns out he was 70 cents to $1, so I don't know how good a bet he was. But, he ran the slower numbers, he ran the faster numbers and lost. So you would have played him last time out and been rewarded with a slow number win.
All right.
It's just value. The name of the game is value and trying to find value.
Look, and the good thing is that on the other hand is that it seems like whenever the horse does have a poor race, the sheet line goes back in the direction that you want to see. So.
Yeah, but the problem is he's going to be clear second choice. They listed him as the favorite over United. I don't know if that's going to really be the case. I think United will probably be, will be bet over this horse. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm right. But I think United will probably be the favorite over Smooth Like Straight, even though they have them United listed at 5-2 and Smooth Like Straight listed at 9-5.
Mark, this is your top play.
Another horse for the course, 3 times out of Del Mar, 2 wins and a second for this horse. And John mentions wins a race that arguably maybe he should not have won the last race. In football, I call that winning games inside out, where you win a game and the other team completely outplayed you, but yet you won the game and people want to go up back and back you again because you won the game. So I completely understand where John's coming from that point, because like you say, you're looking for value, you're not getting it, you're paying for a phony win in that sense. But what I like here is I think this horse can wire this field here. Now, I know award winner is also speed in the race, and if Smooth Like Straight does not wire this field, the horse can at least rate. All those things considered here, and with Rispoli, the jock who's up on this race, this is now 6 races in a row, nothing but in the money, 2 wins, 2 seconds, and a third. I make him my top play in this race.
And if you're playing against the top 2 horses, John, United and Smooth Like Straight, what you want is you want them both to go head to head early, because they're going to, and maybe they'll burn themselves out.
Well, United's not going to go to the lead, I don't think. If anyone runs with Smooth Like Straight,
award winner. I'm sorry.
I think it's award winner.
Award winner. That's what I meant.
Well, United's more of a stalker, right?
Yeah, United could sit off. I mean, he doesn't need the lead, whatever. Yeah. But the truth of the matter is, like Mark said, Smooth Like Straight could sit off, and so could award winner. So it becomes a jock's race, somewhere.
All right. Finally, let's go with the 7. And this is Restrained Vengeance, a 10-1 shot that I'm going to put into my exactas. Coming off a 6 last time out, not the first time that this horse has run a 6. Ran 3 6s a couple of years ago, or last year actually. Matter of fact, even though that was on a different surface, did run a 6 on the turf at Del Mar last August. Didn't get an opportunity to repeat again on turf, went back over to a dirt track after that. But again, I just like the fact that, you got a horse that's coming off a 6. The bounce possibility is definitely there. There's no question about it, but at least I'm getting 10-1.
Listen, at 10-1, I'm not going to knock a 10-1 shot, but if you look at this horse's career, he never puts races together. Last year, 6-8, 6-10. This year, 8-12. So every time he seems to run that big race, he reacts in the race following it. You can go back 2 years. He ran a 6, then an 11, a 6, then a 9. So I've never seen him put 2 races together, but it does happen, I guess. Last year he did go 6 on the dirt to 6 on the synthetic, but he had 3 months off between races. That's not the case here. Listen, I think you have the 1 horse who's 20-1. I would much rather bet than the 7 horse who's 10-1.
That's why I am betting the 1.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, the only question about the 1, by the way, is that he is coming off of Lasix for the first time, and hopefully that doesn't affect him.
Mark?
I can understand the value in the race here, what you're looking at, Greg, here. You got Tyler Bays up. Bays has been a nice fit for the horse here. 4 races. You look at what he's done, a win, a second, and 2/3. Fits nice to the race, 10-1. I think Jon brings out an excellent point. Does this horse have 2 good races in a row in him? And it's going to be difficult to find that out against this class of competition.
All right. And I'm going to post our picks there. You can see them for both races. What do we have going on now? Because we have some good racing coming up again, right?
It's got to be better than this week.
That's true. That's the thing that we always have to preface, and I try to, is that even though we talk about these races all the time, we don't know what the sheets are going to look like. We don't know how many horses are going to be in the field.
Last week we heard, well, they're running this great $1 million race at Saratoga, but we didn't know that there's going to be 4 horses.
All right, well, look, here's next week, because we have a weekend next week. All right, we've got, not only do we have Saturday, but we have Sunday. We've got Del Mar's got the Grade 1 Bing Crosby. Then on Sunday, Del Mar has the Grade 1 Clement L. Hirsch. Saratoga on Saturday has the Alfred G. Vanderbilt to Grade 1 plus 2 Grade 2s, the Jim Dandy and Bowling Green. Then on Sunday, the Grade 2 Amsterdam. So we've got 2 good back-to-back days, bonus action, Saturday and Sunday next week.
You're getting me tired even thinking about it, but okay.
Thanks, Jon.
Thanks, Jon. Have a safe day.
Hey, guys, may the horse be with us. Thank you, guys.